Hello students. So yesterday we have studied the other characteristic of the living things. We studied that how living thing they respond to the stimulus. If any change occur around them, they respond to them. Okay, and that change that occur we considered it as stimuli, and the response which is shown by that of the living thing is the response. Okay, so we see that how the plant they show response to the touch, to light, to water, and same thing for that of the living organism. Later on we studied about the respiration. So you see student, the two things, that is respiration and breathing, occur in that of the human being. Breathing is what in which there is a exchange of the gases. It means taking in air and releasing out. But in case of a respiration, there use of the oxygen by the food, by which there is a release of energy. The same process of a respiration also occur in the plants. So plant they take oxygen and release energy. Although the rate of the respiration occur at night is more as compared to rate of the respiration in daytime, because the plant they perform the photosynthesis, and the photosynthesis it needs sunlight as well as it need carbon dioxide, and in this process oxygen is released out. So during daytime the photosynthesis occur, so the rate of the photosynthesis lowers down. But the respiration process in case of a night is higher than that of the photosynthesis, since there is no sunlight is present in it. Now we will continue with the other characteristic of the living things. Excretion. So you see student, after respiration we will see that of the excretion, which is the another property, another characteristic of a living organisms. Now see, the living things they use food to obtain energy by the process of respiration. Okay, means in respiration process food is used up by the oxygen, and by that process energy is released, and which help in the carrying the metabolic activities of a living things. The process of respiration it reduces carbon dioxide gases as the waste material. The result of that respiration process releases the carbon dioxide gas, and for human being it is a kind of a waste material. For animals it is a waste material, as well as a part of the food taken by the living organism it remain unused. So the unused part of a food also become a waste material, and many of these waste material they are poisonous to the living thing, so they have to be removed. Okay, so the first thing, the first waste material was carbon dioxide gas. In the process of a respiration carbon dioxide gas is released, which is considered to be the waste material. Food that we take, some of the food which we had taken, it will be not used, or it will remain as usual, or it will remain unused. Okay, so the unused part of the food is known as the waste material, and these waste material they are poisonous to the living things, and since it is poisonous we have to remove them. Now from here only we come to the definition of the excretion. That is, what is excretion student? Excretion is the removal of waste substances from the body of a living organisms. Okay, so we remove waste substances from the body of a living organism, that is excretion. Now, all the living thing, they get rid of wastage from inside themselves. And the important waste substance which are produced in the body of animals are carbon dioxide, urea, phases. Animals give out carbon dioxide when they breathe out used air. Okay, it means the first waste, if we talk about the first waste, then we release carbon dioxide. Okay, and this carbon dioxide is a waste product for us. Okay, so as we breathe out, as we give our air out, then what happened? The carbon dioxide will come through it. Not only this, you see the animal, they give out urea or urea. Don't get confused with the word urea, urea, urea. The meaning of the urea here is that is uh, unwanted water and other salt in the form of a urine. Urea is basically present in that of the urine. Okay, so we discharge urine. So urine consisting of a harmful substance, and that is urea. Not only this, the water which is not in a use, it becomes an unwanted water, that is also removed through urine. Even some salts which are unused, that is also get removed in the form of a urine. So the first one, that is we release gases, we expel gases, and that is carbon dioxide. Second thing, we give out urea, unwanted water, and other salt in the form of urine. Not only this, student, you know that the animals, they give out the solid waste of their body in the form of a stool. Okay, which is also known as a feces. Okay, so you see that all living things, they the waste material are formed inside the body, and they get rid of these waste from inside themselves. Okay, so the waste which is produced in the body itself get rid of them, it to throw it outside from the body by themselves. Now, if we talk about in case of the plant, you see, student, plant shows the excretion process. It also removes the unwanted, or it also removes the waste material from it. So, excretion in plant, it means removal of waste product in plants. And the plants, they remove their waste product by different method. Okay, so here also in plants also the excretion process occur, although the method of the removal of their waste product, it may vary with that of the animals. Okay, right now we studied in the animals there are three waste products, including that of the carbon dioxide, urea, and stool. And this is removed in the form by the different ways. It is removed from that of the body of the animals. If suppose we talk about the plant, they also get rid of by the waste products, but the removal of the waste product occurs by different methods. The main waste product which is produced by the plant are carbon dioxide as well as oxygen, both. You see, student, if suppose we talk gases in case of the animals, what is the waste product in that of the gases? We always say that carbon dioxide, we don't use it, we don't need it, so that is a kind of a waste product for us. But if suppose you ask the gases which is the waste product for a plant, then the carbon dioxide as well as that of the oxygen, both are supposed to be the waste product. How? Carbon dioxide is released during the night time. You know, student, that when the sunlight is not there, when the presence of a sunlight is not at night, then the process of photosynthesis, the rate at which the process of photosynthesis occur, it lowers down. Then the respiration process can occur very easily. Okay, so at that time, carbon dioxide, respiration is what? In which the plant also use oxygen and releases carbon dioxide in case of respiration. So during night time, the plant they get rid of the waste carbon dioxide through the stomata. Stomata, it is the pores which is present on the leaves, on the surface of the leaves. So that stomata help in removing the carbon dioxide at night time. What happened during the daytime, students? You know that this carbon dioxide is necessary for the process of photosynthesis. So this carbon dioxide is used up by the plant, and plant they use them in making their food, and finally they releases oxygen, and that oxygen also get removed through the stomata in the leaves. So during daytime the oxygen is released, oxygen becomes the waste product because the photosynthesis rate is high, although the respiration is also occurring in the daytime, but that rate is very low as compared to the rate of photosynthesis. In case of if we talk about at night, the plant they remove the waste gas, that is the carbon dioxide, through the stomata in leaves. So you see, either it is a photosynthesis or respiration. In both the cases, carbon dioxide and oxygen at a different time they are get removed from the plant according to their need. So this is about the gases, that which gas will be act as a waste product in that of the plant. If we talk about the other thing, then you see here, student, some plant they store some of their waste product in the body parts, and that they contain in such a way that it do not harm the plant as a whole. You know that if suppose we start keeping the waste product in the body part, this waste will going to harm our body. But the plant they store the waste product in such a way that they do not get harm the plant as a whole. Now how plant get rid of these wastes? By shading of leaves. Okay, at a time what happened, the leaves it become old and they get shaded off by the plant. So by shading of the leaf, second, peeling of the bark. You have seen the bark portion. Bark is what, student? The outer surface of the plant. This is the bark. You see, this is the bark. So sometime you will see it get peel off. Okay, so the peeling off of the bark as well as felling of fruit, when the fruit become ripened, you see automatically it will fall off from the plant. So it get rid of by shading of leaf, by peeling of bark and felling of fruits. There are some plant they remove their waste product as a secretion. So secretion is a substance which is released by that of the plant. Okay, so that releasing of the portion or a substance from the plant, we called it, or we said that it is a kind of a waste product. So plants secretes a large number of waste products like that of the gum or resin or latex. You have seen latex also. See, this is a latex, a white gum type substance which come from that plant. Gums are there. Okay, you see here. Or resins are there. So these all things is released by that of the plant, and these we considered as a waste product which is released by the part of the plant. Now, it is a waste product for that of the plant, but you know that, students, that this latex or a gum or resin or fruits which get fall off from that of the plant, these all plant waste, they are useful to human beings. Okay, so the waste product which is released by the plant, most of the waste products, they are useful to the human being. Okay, so animals, they remove, human being, they remove the carbon dioxide, urea and that of the stool, while plants, they also remove their waste product by different ways. So the waste product is carbon dioxide and oxygen also. It totally depend upon its need. And the waste product like that of the felling of the leaves and shading of leaves, even the secretion which is secreted by the plant like gum, resin, latex, these all are the waste product which is released by the plant, and these waste products are useful for the human being. Okay, so this is excretion. The next characteristic of a living thing is the reproduction. So when living things reproduce, they make other living things with the same characteristics. So by this we can define the definition of that of the reproduction is that the process by which living organisms produce new members of their species is called reproduction. Okay, so it is a process by which living organisms, they produce the other living organisms. So we can define it like process by which living organisms produce new member. New member. Okay, and that new member must be of their own species. Okay, so this is the proper definition of the reproduction. Now, the mode of it means that all the living things, all the living organisms, they are having the ability to produce the member of their own species. So somehow they are increasing their number by the process of the reproduction. Now the mode of reproduction also vary with the different animals. Okay, it means different animals, they reproduce by different methods, different modes. Like if you see in some of the animals, they reproduce by giving birth to their young ones. You see, human being or cat, dog, cow, horse, deer, tiger, they all reproduce by giving birth to their young ones. But there are some animals who reproduced their young ones through eggs. It means that at first it lay eggs, and this egg hatches and young ones are produced from it. Okay, so the animals like that of the birds or the fishes, they reproduce through eggs. So bird, they lay eggs which on hatching produces young ones. As well as you see the birds, if we say the birds, it means it include all kind of birds like that of the hen or parrot or crow or duck, even the ostrich. So when these eggs are hatched, young ones come out, birds come out of these eggs, and finally they become the bird again. If we talk about the human being, so human being, they reproduce by giving birth to babies. So you see here student, in animals the mode of reproduction is in two way. Either the animal, they reproduce by giving birth to the young ones. Okay, or there are some animals which reproduce through laying eggs, and these eggs when hatched produces young ones. Okay, so this is the two modes of reproduction in case of animals. If we talk in case of a plant student, so plants also have a different modes of reproduction. So many plants are there who reproduce through seeds, like that of the, if you see any of them. So here a pea is there only, you can see wheat or a corn or a gram is there or a paddy plant is there. So these all plant, they produced seed, and when the seeds, their own seeds are grown in a moist soil. Why we are saying a moist, student? Because it consisting of a water, and they help in germinating, they help in the germination, they help in germinating the seeds, okay, which later on grow into new plant. So the plant, they produces seed in the fruits, and that seed is used up, and when these seeds are grown in a moist soil or in the soil itself, then you can say that the seed will germinate and grow into new plants. Okay, lot of examples are there, and including that of the pea also. You can see here we had taken a pea seed, and this pea seed finally get converted into a pea plant. So you can see a seed is responsible for the growth of the plant. Here also a seed is there. When you added this seed in the ground, then you will see a small plant starts coming from it. Finally, this plant becomes adult, and it will form its own fruit or seed, and that fruit will again forms a lot of a seed. Okay, so a seed is responsible for producing a new plant. So the first mode of reproduction in plant is the plant, they reproduce through seeds. If you see the second type, there are some plant which can be produced through the other parts of the plant other than that of the seeds. They do not produce through seeds, but they produced through the parts of the plant. The first one, that some plant they reproduce through tubers. So tuber is what? It is a thickened underground stem of the plant which is swollen with stored food. Okay, so this is the definition. Underground food stored, which stored the food over the winter and provide a new plant with the food until it make its own. So basically, it is a thickened and underground stem of plant which is swollen and having stored food in it. Best example is that of the potato. Potato is a stem tuber. So potato stem tuber has a many buds on its body. You can see here buds. Okay, so this is the buds. So when a potato tuber is planted in the soil, then all the buds of the potato tuber starts growing, and they starts growing to produce a new potato plant. So one old potato tuber can produce many new potato plant. Okay, so one tuber, this is the potato, this is having the buds in it, and these buds is responsible for giving or producing a potato plant. So an old potato tuber can produce a new potato plant. It is not necessary to the plant that a whole potato tuber in the soil to produce a new potato plant. We can even cut the piece of the potato in the soil to obtain new potato plant. But in each piece, each such piece should have a bud on it. You see here, student, this is a bud. This is an eye from which the bud starts coming. So there is no need to take a whole potato. If you cut it into two parts, but both of the part, whether this one or this part, must have a bud in it, a bud like this. If it is having a bud like this, then it will be possible for the piece of the potato also to grow into a new potato plant. Okay, so with the help of the bud, that plant of the potato can be grow into a new potato plant. So this is a kind of a reproduction which is occur through that of the tubers. Now there is another kind of a reproduction, student, and that is cutting the plant. So this is the plant which reproduce through cutting. So a small part of the plant which is removed by making a cut with a sharp knife is called cutting. Cutting. One second. So a part of the plant which is cut with the sharp knife and then that part is planted. This process, this type of a reproduction, these plants they reproduce through the cutting process. Now what should be cut in case of a plant? So cutting, it may be a piece of a stem or maybe a piece of a root or even a leaf. Okay, so the cutting help in the growth of a new plant, and the cutting can occur in a piece of a stem, in a root, or even in a leaf. But the cutting should be made in such a way that there are some bud on it. You can see here, student, bud is present in it. Okay, so these buds must be there while you cutting the part of a plant. A cutting of an existing plant, they are having some bud on it and it is taken, and its lower part, this is the lower part, it is buried in the moist soil. Okay, it is now placed in an underground soil, or it is placed in that of the soil, in a moist soil. Okay, so we will take a piece of a plant. That plant must consisting of a bud, and then the lower portion is planted in the moist soil. What you will observe after few days, students, you will observe that the cutting part, it develops into root. You can see here, when you plant it, the root starts growing. Not only root, this length is also increasing, and the leaves are also coming out through bud. Okay, so after few days you will see the root starts coming up from it, and later on when you see that the cutting part, it developed into root, the growth in the new plant, and the plant, it becomes a long. Okay, it becomes a developed, starts developing root and that of the shoot also. So this cutting portion of a piece of a plant help in the growth of a new plant. Okay, and such kind of a reproduction can occur in a few plants only. It is not for all the type of a plant. Okay, so what kind of a plants they can reproduce through the cutting process? That is rose or grapes, even sugarcane also, cactus also, henna. So these are all different kind of a plant which reproduce through cutting. So you see, student, we have studied the plant, they can reproduce by three methods. They can reproduce through seed, which is very common with the all type of a plants. Okay, all the type of a plant, they reproduce through seed, germination of the seed. The second one is through tubers, tuber, tubers. So tuber is what? It is an underground stem which is swollen. It means it is having stored food in it. Okay, so some plant they reproduce through tuber, and some of the plants are there whose small part of the plant is responsible for giving rise to a new plant. So this kind of a reproduction occurs through cutting. So this is for the plant. These are the different modes of the reproduction in case of the plant. While in animal, reproduction occur only through that of the giving birth to young ones, or by laying eggs which later on hatches and give rise to that of young ones. Okay. Now every living organism, you see that they reproduce. Now the question is that why there is a need of this reproduction, because the every organism want to increase the number of their species, and it is because that a living organism is having a definite lifespan. So you see, all the living thing, they start their life when they are born as a babies, or hatched from egg, or they grow from seeds. Even if you see the living things, they grow into adult, remain alive for a certain time, and finally dies. So you see, so different kind of a living things, they remain alive, but that is for a duration of a time. Although the duration of their time, it varies with the different types of animals. Okay, so the process is the same, that once they were small, they grow, become adult, and finally they die. But the duration up to which they will live, that varies. So by this we can define the term, and that is lifespan. What is lifespan, student? Lifespan, it means the time period for which a living thing remains alive is called its lifespan. Okay, all the living things, they are having a definite lifespan. It means ultimately all the living things have to die. So the living thing, they are having a definite lifespan, the time period up to which a living thing can remain alive. If we talk about the man, student, man has an average lifespan of 60 to 70 years. Okay, although we always say that up to 60 to 70 years a man can alive. Even this lifespan can increase up to the 80 to the 90, but most of the people, they survive, they are having their lifespan of 60 to 70 years. If we see some of the animals, so lifespan of some of the insects which you see during the rainy season is of only few hours. So there are some of the insects are there which lifespan is very less. That is, they can alive only for a few hours. After a few hours, it will dead. There are some of the animals whose lifespan is very large, like that of the lifespan of tortoise. So you see, the tortoise can survive 100 to 150 years. So you see, the lifespan of the tortoise is very much, very large. Okay, while insects, you see, they alive for a few hours to few weeks to few months. So you, because by this you are able to understand that every living organism, they are having a definite lifespan, and these lifespan, it varies with the other living things. Okay.